Welcome to Your Health, where we explore the latest in health across the country. I'm your host, Erica Cardenas. Pool season is upon us, so today we're talking swim safety here at the JCC. But before we get started, let's take a look at what's coming up on today's show. We introduce you to a chef who changed his health by cooking a new way. How Giga Blast can help you live your best life. Plus one man's journey to sobriety. All that and more on this episode of Your Health. We're here at the Valley of the Sun JCC to talk about swim safety, and joining me now is Aquatics Director Debbie Meek to tell us more. Welcome, Debbie. Thanks for joining us. First off, this is a beautiful facility. Tell us a little bit more about the Valley of the Sun JCC.
Well, here at the J, we have probably one of the best aquatic facilities in all of the Phoenix and Scottsdale area. We have two beautiful pools. One is a lap pool. We also have an activity pool. We have a state-of-the-art splash pad, and we also have a phenomenal rock wall. The facility is amazing. It's got something for everybody.
So talk to us about some of the swimming classes that you offer here at the J.
Our swimming classes start with 6 months old, and it goes to about age 12. Once they are done with the swim program, they can move right on into the swim team. They're as young as 5 moving into the swim team, or they're as old as 12. But we start with water safety with 6 months to 3 years, and then from 3 and above, it goes into a learn to swim program so that they're comfortable to be able to swim 25 yards.
So at what age should we really start teaching our kids how to swim?
We believe here at the J 6 months. We believe that you should always get your child water safe, starting with the splash pad, going into the Parent and Me classes so that they're comfortable in and around the water. The people who wait till their child is 3 and they teach them that the water is scary, then when they come in for swim lessons, it takes a long time for us to get them ready to understand that the water is not scary. So 6 months, we believe, is the beginning.
Key age. Okay, now the fact of the matter is, even some adults, many adults, don't know how to swim. You offer adult classes as well.
Absolutely. Adults, it's never too old to learn to swim. And for adults, it's really good to have another activity as they get older. And it's a great way to stay fit and meet new friends.
Now, growing up, I used to refer to them as floaties. So let's talk a little bit about water wings. Do you believe in using water wings?
Absolutely not. It's
why is
a
that?
false sense of security for the parents and the child. So many times you see people with their children with floaties and the parent turns their back on their kids, thinking that that's going to be safe. It is not safe. They can deflate, they can take them off, all kinds of things can happen, and drownings happen with no sound whatsoever. Most of the time, any sort of drowning happens, it's within a few feet of safety. So water wings, we do not recommend. The other reason why water wings are not recommended is when you're teaching swimming, you want a prone float feel into the water, and water wings has you going up and down. So a kid feels like this is comfort, but this needs to be comfort.
Right, that makes sense. So what are some of the things that we should be looking for when it comes to swimming lessons?
If you're looking for a facility for swimming lessons, first I would say look for a place that you're comfortable being around. I would do your homework on your instructors on what their credibility is. Here at the J, all of our swim instructors are lifeguard trained, so they're ready for any sort of incident. Also, our facility here has a roaming lifeguard to have extra eyes on the classes, even though each teacher is a lifeguard. And again, I would say look at the cleanliness of the facility. Is the water clear? Is it clean? Is it going to be safe for your child?
Debbie, explain to us why it's so important that everyone learns how to swim, whether or not you have a pool at home.
So just for water safety and preparing for the unknown. People go to the lake, go to the ocean, go to pool parties. Everybody should learn to swim and be prepared for water safety.
Thanks so much for your time, Debbie. You'll actually be joining us later on the show to talk about water safety, so looking forward to that. Have you heard of Meatless Mondays? It's a push to encourage Americans to eat vegetarian just once a week. We recently spoke with a vegan chef to learn about the benefits of eating less meat.
I'm Jason Wyrick. I'm the executive chef of The Vegan Taste and cookbook author of Vegan Mexico, Vegan Tacos, and co-author of 21 Day Weight Loss Kickstart. I was fat and diabetic. I started learning how to cook right out of college, so I had my first great meal, and I was broke. I couldn't afford to go spend 20 bucks at this great Egyptian restaurant I was eating at in Fort Worth, and so I started learning how to cook, but what I was learning was all this stuff that was really just making me fatter and sicker. So by the time I was in my mid-20s, I became diabetic. I weighed about 330 pounds. I mean, I wore these huge brown sweaters, and I looked like Jabba the Hutt with a human head. And when I got diagnosed with diabetes, I was like, I gotta do something, because this physician's saying I have to take medication for the rest of my life, and I'm 27. It was insane. So I just found a healthy, whole foods way of eating, no animal products or anything like that, and I was like, sure, I'll do it. And I lost 120 pounds, and it cured my diabetes in 8 months. And actually the symptoms I had went away in 3 months, and I had them bad. I was like falling asleep on the freeway. I was sleeping 10 hours. My eyesight was failing, and I used to have great eyesight. And all that stuff went away in just a few months. It was amazing. And basically I had a soulless job as a director of marketing for a tech firm. And I knew I had to do something else, so I became a vegan chef and trained myself so I could go out and basically help other people eat great food, because eating great food is the key to staying on a healthy lifestyle. When I went vegan, I was like, man, what am I gonna eat? I gotta learn how to make food for myself now. And you can't make some burger that you know is gonna make a vegan happy, but everyone else is gonna be like, ah, it's crazy vegan food. Or you can't make stuff like that. You have to make stuff that still looks appealing and feels hearty and leaves someone satisfied. I mean, everybody wants enchiladas, but when they can see a beautiful plate of enchiladas where there's not necessarily a cheese in it, but there's it's smothered in a pipián verde, which is this pepita green salsa mix, and it's got that creaminess and everything, and it looks appealing, people go for that. They stop caring about the cheese so much. Before, when I was a marketing director, it was just about making money, and now it's about helping people. It's like every time I do that, I take someone through that transformation that I went through, and I get to relive that moment of epiphany. And then when I see that in their eyes and go through the change in a way again with them, it's really moving. Like when I have a family that comes up and they're crying because they're not going to go to the hospital and they think they can do this for the rest of their lives. And I know that I saved someone. That's amazing.
If you're interested in becoming a vegetarian, make sure to do your research. Most vegetarians don't get enough protein, zinc, or B vitamins, so be sure to consult your doctor for advice. Stick around, we have much more coming up on Your Health. We'll introduce you to a place with a revolutionary way to treat ED and getting treatment for addiction at Decision Point Center. At Peak Health, they say they have a revolutionary treatment for ED with no pills, no needles, and no side effects. Let's take a look.
My name is Brian Miller. I'm the clinic manager at Peak Health Scottsdale. Peak Health Group is a specialty clinic that treats solely in the treatment of erectile dysfunction. Erectile dysfunction is very common. It affects over 30 million men from any age. It's a problem that starts very slowly. We treat vascular erectile dysfunction, and that's something that's going to happen over time, and some guys won't notice it until one day they wake up and all of a sudden start realizing that they're not as strong as they used to be, and then it becomes a problem. When treating erectile dysfunction, the most common treatment form are pills, and then as the problem continues and the dosage will increase. Some guys will even get to the point where the pills won't work, so they look for alternatives. And one of the alternatives are injections into the penis itself. Those injections can cause some problems. They can cause a disease called Peyronie disease, which is curvature of the penis. So there are some definite side effects to watch out for with injections. The number one cause of ED is plaque buildup in the penis itself. That plaque builds up in the very small microscopic vessels that block blood and prevent blood from entering into the venous, causing an erection. What our treatment does is it removes the plaque by using acoustic sound wave therapy to blast out the plaque, let the body process it naturally. It also promotes new blood vessel growth, so we kind of attack it at two different angles. We break out the plaque that's going to stop the blood from entering so you can get that normal blood flow. We're also going to promote new blood vessel growth, so you'll also get an increase in the new blood flow to help get you back to that natural spontaneous erection. The treatment procedure consists of 6 short office visits that take approximately 20 minutes. You'll come in and meet with our tech and go over a couple of questions. The treatment will be applied. It's a quick, painless treatment. The staff here at Peak Health are very sensitive to the condition that you're experiencing right now. Our doctors are very professional, and we keep our patients' information confidential. One of the most enjoyable parts about working here at Peak Health is when you get to talk to guys and they come up and shake your hand and you can see the big smile on their face and how just their lives have changed. Their marriages have gotten better, their confidence has improved, and they just have a better sense of well-being. If you're suffering ED, you don't need to go through it alone. If you'd like more information about the treatment that we perform here or just about ED itself, feel free to call 480-550-6640, or you can look up our website at www.peakhealthlife.com.
While in college, Scott felt lost and turned to addictive substances to help him cope. With the help of Decision Point Center, he found his passion and sobriety.
I was in college struggling with anxiety and depression because I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I grew up. Started drinking more and then found drugs, and pretty much that just made the anxiety and depression, get worse, even though at the time I thought it was better, but it was what I was used to. And I would just go back and forth like, oh, I want to stop doing drugs. Oh, I don't want to stop doing drugs. I woke up one morning and my mom was like, hey, someone's downstairs, they want to talk to you. And I go downstairs and there wasn't like an actual interventionist, but it was a bunch of my friends, some of my close friends, their parents. They pretty much reassured me that I did need help, and I was at a place where I was just so miserable about where I was. I was like, I do need a change. They were like, we want to send you this place in Arizona. You get to go hiking, do a bunch of cool outdoor stuff. And I'm just like, sounds great. When do I leave? I didn't necessarily think I would stay sober, actually. I was sort of like, all right, I'll go to this rehab for 30 days, just kind of throw a curveball in my life, mix it up. And then slowly I was able to come to terms with, hey, being sober is actually a really good thing. I was actually very pleased because it wasn't like very institutional, hospital-y. It was almost like I was going to Colorado and staying at like a condo. Like, it was actually really nice. I even joked with one of my friends that him and I both got sent to a mandatory summer camp. Just like, kids when they go to summer camp, they make friends. We kind of do the same thing at Decision Point. We're here, we might as well make the best of it. I felt I actually had a real big impression on a lot of the clients there because I showed them how much fun they could have, because they kind of came in like I did. They're like, oh, I'm in rehab. But I was able to show them the fun side. There's a lot more to life than just drugs and alcohol, especially with the outdoor program Decision Point has. It showed me how much fun it is just to be outside, taking in nature. I've always been a big wildlife nature person even before Decision Point. And then once a month you would go on a couple-day camping trip, whether that be just car camping where your car's right there, or like full-on backpacking out through the wilderness. Even now that I'm out, I thought rehab was great for me. Honestly, even if I didn't have a drug problem, I thought rehab would have been great because it taught me how to deal with stresses that you're gonna come across in your life. Now, almost 9 years after my sobriety date, I'm working as a large predator handler at a wildlife park. That's one thing that's really helping me stay sober, along with the tools Decision Point taught me, just because those animals mean the world to me, and it really is a dream job. Thanks to Decision Point, I have almost 9 years of sobriety.
Many people around the country will be heading to the lake this summer to go boating, so if that's you, remember to wear a life jacket, as most boating fatalities occur from drowning. Here's what's coming up next on the show. How the internet is helping one woman fulfill her life's passion, and the one thing you should do around the pool to help with safety.
Summer means water activities, and your health reminds you to make sure that everyone in your family knows how to swim. Head to the American Red Cross website and click on the Training and Certification tab for information on lessons.
After battling cancer, Cindy wanted to devote her time to volunteering, and with the help of GigaBlast, that is now possible.
My battle with cancer gave me a new outlook on life, and I really wanted to help other people by volunteering. You start looking at your life coming to an end, and you say, should I do something different? Could I make it last a little bit longer so I can enjoy my grandsons for a little longer? And it does change the way that you live. One of the places that I volunteered is Purple Air, and Purple Air helps people understand the air quality in their neighborhood so they can make better decisions on the life that they're living. When you're looking at the map, you'll see that some of the sections are green, and then you'll see some sections that head more towards oranges, reds, and then down into the deepest reds, which are more purple. And you can see the number of particulates. You'll see a number within the circle. So the circle will be green, it'll show 4. And so you know the particulate level is very low, but then when it starts heading into the red region, you'll also see that the particulates are getting up into the 150 range. The beauty of the Purple Air sensor is that it's done real time. A lot of the things that are published that come out of the air quality monitors put together by the government come out 24 hours later, and so you really don't always know what's going on real time. I get excited because Adrian, the CEO, is very passionate about what he's doing, and he wants to give back to the community. He wants people to be able to understand the air quality, and it just rubs off on you, and you realize the impact that poor air quality could have not only for us, but on future generations, and how just showing people what air quality is and getting them excited about it is going to have an impact for the future. It's very exciting for me to be able to use my skills to be able to help him build a successful company where he's going to continue to have this impact in the communities of the future. He needed to get on board with all of the pieces of business that are out there. So I've been helping him with the bookkeeping. I've been helping him understand what he needs to do with employees, and he's really doing extremely well. What's really fun though is I can do the bookkeeping here and pull information in, but in order to do that, I have to have high speed. My husband works from home, and I've got several computers that are set up to give me the ability to work on multiple things and do research perhaps while I'm trying to figure out where things go in the books and how to make sure everything is aligned properly. And GigaBlast gives me the ability to run multiple computers so that I can have access to all of the information that I need. And I really want to thank Cox Communications for providing GigaBlast in the community.
Here's an important safety tip. After you give your kids a bath, be sure to drain the water. It may be tempting to get them dressed first, but even an inch of water can be deadly. Here's what's coming up next on the show. We'll get more water safety tips from our expert.
A healthy life starts with one small change at a time. For advice on making those small life changes, watch Your Health every week to hear from health experts, and head to Yurview.com for full episodes and health stories.
We're back here at the J with Debbie Meek talking about water safety. Debbie, tell us, what is the #1 thing we need to keep in mind when it comes to water safety?
Never swim alone, never leave a pool unattended, and don't think nothing's not going to happen.
Now, Debbie, we're all going to be heading to the public pools, to the water parks this summer. Why is it so important to have a properly trained lifeguard on duty at all times?
Mainly for emergency situations. If somebody goes under, swallows water, they need to have a guard that understands your emergency action plans and then just what to do in an emergency situation. Here at the J, we train lifeguards. We have lifeguard training. Our lifeguards here have in-service twice a month so that they're always going over all of our safety protocol. So each facility that has children at water parks, you need to make sure that that's what they do.
Now let's talk about pool fences and why it's so important to not have items around the pool fence.
Pool fences should always have alarms and should always be locked at all times unless you're out there with your child. But if there's something that attracts their attention over there, they're going to go to that way. You need to make sure there's nothing next to a fence that they can climb up on and climb over. I would also say if you hire a babysitter that you think is watching your children, just in case that fence does get open, you need to make sure that that babysitter has swimming ability, and also I would make sure that they were lifeguard trained.
Right, super important. So Debbie, what are some final tips that you can give us on staying safe around water this summer?
Don't think nothing's going to happen. I would say if you could get your family to find a facility that teaches water safety, that teaches your kids what to do in the pool. If they see a friend that's needing assistance, do they go up to them and help them? By then, there's two of them in the same situation. So if you could find a facility that could teach your family what water safety should be at home or at a pool party, that would be the best.
Well, thank you so much, Debbie, for having us out today. Great information. If you'd like to learn more, just head over to their website. Thank you for joining us on Your Health. I'm Erica Cardenas. See you next time.